And she said, "I'm going to the dentist. Pray for me." And the talk is about, among other things, can we pray for other people? And the question you would have, or that I would have, if somebody says, "I'm going to the dentist, pray for me," is what am I going to be praying for? Because yes, of course I can pray for you. Am I going to be praying that the dentist has something else to do and cancels? Am I going to be praying for safe travel to and from the dentist? Maybe I'm going to pray for a good root canal. Of course, if there's somebody who's not planning on getting a root canal, that's really not a very nice prayer to do on their behalf as they're heading for the dentist. Maybe the prayer that they're thinking about is that they want a nice clear checkup. Everything is going to check out just fine. They're fine. There are no cavities, and it's time to go home. Maybe if they're in a different situation, the prayer is going to be that there's no lead poisoning left over from the metal fillings that they have from their childhood. "I'm going to the dentist, pray for me," doesn't really tell us what it is that we're going to be praying for. The fact of the matter is, yes, we can pray for others. Prayer works, and we can do prayers for ourselves. It's a very simple 5 or 7 step process. One, if you've really got your spiritual groove on. And anybody can do a prayer for ourselves to invite in a new experience of life. And we can pray for other people as well. But there are 2 things that we need to have. First off, we need to know the desired result. What is it that that person would like to have happen if the prayer actually works as desired, as intended? The other thing we need is permission from the person who we're praying for. And I had 4 different experiences that came to mind this week. And I'll give you the setup line for the story. Dad's in the ICU on life support. Okay? There's a lot of prayer opportunity there, and there's a lot of different ways that it can go. I just found out I have a 2-year-old grandchild. And there's a lot wrapped up in that one as well. I'm not feeling spiritually fed like I used to be by the same activities. Possibilities there. And then yesterday I was at the gym, and on my way home, the traffic got rerouted because there was a huge car accident on Haverford Avenue. And for me, there was an opportunity to do prayer right there. I couldn't tell what's going on, but there's fire engines that are there, and the street's blocked off in both directions. And from what I could see, there were lots of airbags deployed. Can we pray for others? Yeah, we absolutely can pray for others. And when we don't know what to pray for, what we can pray for is highest good. And that's the title of the talk today, is highest good. And it was inspired by an intention and a prayer. It was set by our Power of 8 intention circle a few weeks back. And if you've never been to a Power of 8 circle, they are really wonderful. This is a notion that was created by Lynn McTaggart. And we've been doing it every week for about 2.5 years at this point, maybe a little over. And it's a wonderful opportunity to gather together. The ideal size of the group is 8, but it'll work with a group of 2, and we can do it with a group of 15 if we need to. It's just the 8 makes it particularly manageable because we do it for 30 minutes. And the idea is to take an intention for, in most cases, one of the people in the circle, and everybody will surround them in love, and we will meditate and focus on that experience coming into their life. We go into the silence for 5 minutes or so together. And the power of that intentionality multiplies the effectiveness, the impact, the result of that prayer work, that intention that we are setting. And one of the things that we do every once in a while is the people who are in the circle don't need something for themselves. So we can do a prayer for something more global. And the global prayer that we did a few weeks ago was, we each serve as an instrument to invite a world of harmony, honesty, and highest good for all. That was the intention. We each serve as an instrument to invite a world of harmony, honesty, and highest good for all. And that's what we're talking about with highest and best. So in a situation where we don't know what to pray for, when somebody says, "I'm going to the dentist, pray for me," we can pray knowing that their highest and best is unfolding. And the way we like to embellish that is highest and best unfolding with love and ease for this person and everyone involved. So we're not saying what highest and best is. Dad is in the ICU on life support. What's highest and best unfolding? I'm not going to put my judgment onto that. And I'll ask the person who I'm hearing from, what would you like to have be the desired outcome? And sometimes it's, I want Dad to pass easily. Or sometimes it's, I really want Dad to be okay. Or maybe it's, I want everybody involved here to feel peace of mind and harmony and alignment. And if we know what those are, and we can truthfully say that we know that to be the case, we know that Dad is recovering, we know that Dad is moving on, we know that everybody is experiencing peace of mind, we can do a prayer for that. But we have to know that it's possible. We have to know that it's true if we're saying it's something that's actually happening. And if we don't know, we can pray that highest and best is unfolding for Dad and everyone involved with love and ease. And it gives a lot of power to what's going on, and it lets us be in that prayerful situation without necessarily knowing what's going on. I saw the car accident, and it would be very easy for me to just drive past and feel inconvenienced by the fact that I have to drive a different route, and through all the stop signs getting home. That's not what it was about, and nobody asked for me to pray. But the situation presented itself to me in such a way that I knew that I could bring some good to that. So, again, we each serve as an instrument to invite a world of harmony, honesty, and highest good for all. That was my call to pray. So as I was driving around through the detour, I was doing a prayer. That love was unfolding, that highest and best was revealing itself for everyone involved in that situation. For the first responders, for the people who had been involved in the crash, for everyone. For everyone. And we can always do that. Highest and best unfolding with love and ease for each and everyone involved. I'm not feeling spiritually fed like I used to be by the same activities. Well, okay, there's some advice in there. Try some new activities. Or perhaps there's a reason for that, and we can open ourselves up to guidance and clarity about what's the next activity to be involved in. Or an understanding of why is that happening? And that one we actually had a chance to have some discussion and some back and forth. And one of the things that I've noticed through all of my path through this New Thought teaching is that the stuff that was absolutely astounding when I first learned how to do it, the transformations in my life were amazing. I went from 0 to 60 when I began in this teaching, and I went from not being able to do any of this transformation and healing to being able to do it. And now, I still can do it, but there's not that dramatic change for me anymore. And sometimes, instead of me getting stuff for myself, I get fed by teaching other people, by helping other people, by doing prayer work with other people. So, I'm not getting fed the same way by the same activities. And that's okay, because now, instead of taking, I'm able to give. Instead of just being a participant, I'm able to be in a leadership role. It changes for all of us. It changes all the time as we go through it. And so don't be surprised if your highest and best unfolds with love and ease differently as you go from one experience or portion of your life to another. We each serve as an instrument to invite a world of harmony, honesty, and highest good for all. There's some things that people would love to pray for. Pray for world peace. And that sounds so uplifting. Yeah, pray for world peace. That's great. Except if you just have world peace break out right now, then all of the people who are in conflict, who are being oppressed and undermined and having their land and their freedom taken away from them, if they just go to peace and they have to give up everything that they're aspiring to, that's not a favor for them. Do I want the wars to continue? No. But I don't just want it to be peace. I want it to be resolved. I want the saying that's come into vogue now is a world that works for everyone. I like to talk about a level playing field. Everybody has an opportunity to be that bright light that they are, to experience it and to share it. We all can do that. We all can do that in our own way. And in fact, we do that every week in our own way. At the end of the Flames of Faith, what we do is we put into the light anyone or any place you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love. And what that means is an actual, visceral, immediate experience of highest and best unfolding with love and ease. Because we see the candle, we understand that light, we are calling it a healing flame, whatever that means to me. Whatever healing means to me, that's what we're inviting to have happen for those people or those circumstances or situations. So highest and good, on the one hand, can seem like a cop-out. Well, I don't know what to pray for, so I'm just pray for highest good. And it's not. It's not. That is hugely powerful. And in a case where we don't have clarity about what it is that we want to have happen, then part of our highest good unfolding is that we get that clarity, we get that insight, we get that wisdom. We can activate our intuitive sense, so we're able to know something that we didn't know before. And in some cases, I'm really very much aware that I don't have clarity about something, so I can pray for clarity. And if I'm in a situation and I don't even understand what the situation is, and I don't know that I don't have any clarity about what the situation is, I can pray for highest and best unfolding with love and ease for me and everyone involved. And that invites in that experience. And it doesn't matter how you explain the way that creative principle works. You know, we talk about creative principle, that there's one creative power that creates everything. And that we're using that same creative principle to create our lives. What we do is we set an intention, create a belief, and then that belief activates the creative law, and that brings it into our experience. Other people explain it as the law of attraction. So when I resonate with a particular idea, the vibrational energy of that idea is what draws that experience into alignment with me. There are lots and lots of different ways to explain it, but that's the practice of opening ourselves up to that infinite creative power and inviting it to create something for us. And that's how prayer works. And in New Thought, we actually have the advantage of not having a whole lot of religious requirement or creed on top of what we believe. Like we say at the beginning of the celebration, we believe there's one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us, and that we're using that one to create our lives according to our beliefs. And we don't have a middleman that we have to appease or ask a favor for in order to get to God. We don't have to make a supplication or a request to some power outside of ourselves that's going to say yes or no or maybe or perhaps later. Once we get ourselves into that alignment and we're activating the principle responds. And it responds to everyone according to our own individual belief rather than on somebody else's judgment or some external force or power. And it's truly liberating for me. It's truly liberating. It can be challenging because we can't blame anything on God. We can't blame anything on circumstances outside of our beliefs. There was a once-in-a-lifetime ceremony yesterday with the crowning of the King of England. And the crowning is done by the Church of England, and they're basically turning over the kingship to him. And it was, first of all, glorious to watch. The music was spectacular. The pageantry was awesome. You know, they've got a crown that's been around for 1,000 years. And traditions that are around longer than that. Have a horse-drawn carriage with air conditioning and hydraulics because, you don't need to be uncomfortable just because it's going to be a horse-drawn carriage. But the thing that struck me as they were going through was that all of the officials, all of the archbishops were like just trying to get themselves out of the way and asking this power that's greater than them to acknowledge that this is the king. You know, it's Jesus and it's God, and it's like, let's turn this over to somebody else. And I can understand not wanting to give an individual person the power to king someone. But that's what they were doing. It was a group consciousness. And there was agreement that this man is now the King of England. And as a group, setting the intention for that. Claim that power. Claim that. And to invite, in its own way, highest good to unfold for all of the people who are involved in that circumstance or situation. I'm not sure what happened 70 years ago, the last time they crowned a monarch, if there were protesters there. It's completely possible that at that time, protesting the Queen being crowned wasn't a thing. And this year, it is a thing. And there's a reason for that, and it's the colonization that England has done, and taking over other people's countries and subjugating people to whatever it is that they're looking to do. And that gets right back to praying for world peace. Do we want to pray for the people who have been disadvantaged for a long time to be peaceful now so they can continue to be disadvantaged? Or are we looking for something different? Can you pray to have your team win? Well, you can, but, there has to be a chance that they're going to lose, otherwise the game's not exciting. I'm going to talk about that Super Bowl Sunday every year. I'm not going to get into it again. And the question is always what to pray for. So, there's somebody's up for a new job, and they say, pray for me. It's like, all right, I'm going to pray for, what I pray for when somebody has a new job opportunity is I pray for a perfect fit. Not that they get the job or that they don't get the job, but that they and the job fit together perfectly, and that fit is obvious to everyone. Because I have gotten jobs that were awful. Oh my God, they were miserable. Those jobs lasted for 10 years and it only took 6 weeks. I mean, and I would never pray for somebody to get into one of those jobs. So don't pray to get the job, or pray to lose the job, or pray to leave the job. Same thing with a relationship. There's a new relationship possible. I'm praying for love unfolding, and clarity and guidance, and again, that harmony, that everybody's on the same page. Because falling in love with somebody who doesn't have any interest in you, there's cartoons about that. It's not a happy thing. I'm trying to decide whether or not to sell my house. Okay, well, the prayer is for the perfect decision. I am not going to pray for your house to be sold. What's happening with the house has something to do with your peace of mind and your prosperity, but not necessarily. So I'm going straight to what it is that we're actually inviting into experience. And if you don't know, pray for highest and best unfolding with love and ease for everyone involved. And that includes you. So if you haven't written that one down yet, you can jot it down or memorize it. Highest and best unfolding with love and ease for everyone involved. And that's my prayer for you for today, for this week and ongoing. Highest and best unfolding with love and ease, because you deserve it. We all deserve it. We are that light shining, and I'm grateful for it. So it is.
The two great realities which we must affirm are first a divine presence of warmth and color and responsiveness, the infinite spirit and its response to us through communion. This, of course, is the essence of prayer. The next great reality is that we are also surrounded by a principle of intelligence and creativeness, which responds to us as we believe, because it operates on our belief. One is the law and the other is the presence. We should be careful to understand this. We do not believe that God is a principle. We believe that God is a universal presence in, through, and around everything. It is this presence with which we commune. We also believe in a mind principle that can be used. We do not have to inform the one or compel the other, but seeking communion with the presence, we should use the law consciously and for definite purposes.